Welcome, World of Warcraft fans, to another episode of Casual Encounters. This is my World of Warcraft show, episode 18.1. So, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video. It's what I've noticed is there's a ton of stuff out there. This alphas come out. They've come out and they've had the Horde starting zone, and just recently they came out in the alpha with the Alliance starting zone of Shadowmoon Valley, and the Horde one was Frostfire Ridge. I've been having some trouble really thinking of some really good ideas for videos and stuff, so I thought I'd just come and do some general stuff and try out this new I guess this new sort of program, I guess, to allows me to, do a little bit more on the video, make it look a little cooler and stuff. I'm still not gonna edit because I'm too lazy for that, and you're gonna hear all my mistakes. You're gonna hear all that, if I'm looking for something or I don't know what to say, you're gonna get it all. I'm just gonna speak from the heart, and just try to talk about what's going on. And all that stuff. So, what can I tell you? There's a lot of changes. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you, like, what all the different changes that classes and stuff are going through. I mean, there's just too much. And they just continually change. If you go over to MMO Champion and just go down the list and whatever, I mean, there's so much, and I've said it before. You just can't. It's like too much to comment on, and I know that there's some people do, but it's just like an information thing. And someone actually asked me, says, "Hey, can you do some like class change stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, I'd really like to do that, The thing is that all I would be doing is rattling off a bunch of spell changes that they did or removed or whatever, and it'd be very difficult for me to comment on it. For one, I only play a Resto Druid, a Guardian Druid, a Frost Mage, and a Prot Paladin. So I might be able to comment a little bit about what I think about those things. This guy was asking me for he has a Shadow Priest, and he wanted some information on that. Well, like I said, it's for me to do that. I don't think it would be like very relevant, just because I don't play a Shadow Priest, and again, I can like rattle off what's been removed and stuff, but it's all going to change, and it's just really, I just find it really difficult to do stuff like that. And anybody who's watched my videos, I'm really more into as a greater what's going on in World of Warcraft as a whole, ease of access, quality of life, stuff like that. So for example, in the last couple of weeks, there's been a couple of different buffs that came out. We had the one that gave double Valor. I'm not even sure if I might even spoke about this in my last video. Can't remember if I did that in my last video or if that happened just after. But don't get me wrong, it was great for that week or whatever 2 weeks that we had. It was nice. Honestly, it didn't really change much. I think it was probably really good for anybody who had like all kinds of alts, and they could just cap out really quick all their alts, get one up there, cap it out, and then do all the other ones even faster. And so I mean, hey, when it comes to stuff like that, great. It's a nice little bonus. Super. Whatever. Everybody, I think, yeah, everybody could take advantage of it. This week, or last week, they came out with the gaze of the Black Prince. And of course, last week before that, I just got uh, my legendary on my paladin, my boosted 90. So it was too late for me. But hey, I got it. It's cool, you know. So I couldn't take advantage of it. And in case you don't know, the Gates of the Black Prince, what it is it gives you double rep for the Black Prince, and it allows those sigils of power and wisdom, secrets of the Empire, and Titan runestones to drop more. So for me, obviously, and for anybody who's on that part of the quest, well, I would say more if they're on secrets or runestones, then for them, these 2 weeks or whatever, that's going to be great for them. My poor wife, who just recently started trying to get it on her chamois, had sort of just gotten to the point where she was on a test of valor. So she'd already done her sigils. She's on her test of valor, and I think she's going to be able to. Yeah. So tomorrow is reset. Well, I guess if anybody watches this, it'll probably already be past that. But right now, as I'm speaking, it's Monday night. She just capped out for the week, and I think she needs 600 more valor or something. So tomorrow she'll be able to get on. She'll be able to, get her 600 valor, and at least for this week, she'll be able to hopefully get more secrets than people normally would. But had she had the 2 weeks, I just don't understand why they're not just leaving this one go. The valor, whatever, it's a bonus. Everybody got to take advantage of it if they wanted to, and it just seems like at this point there's no real reason to not just keep that buff going, or maybe do something else, because let's face it, right? Like the quest line, I really like the quest line, the legendary quest line. As a casual player, I thought it was really good because you don't have to rely on a hardcore raiding guild. A guild doesn't have to decide who's going to get the legendary. That's really good. I've mentioned all that before, and it's when we were starting at the beginning of the expansion and working our way up to all this stuff, those grinds, basically it was gating, right? I mean, it was because otherwise everyone would just have their legendary right away, and that would be kind of weird. But everyone's had their chance to get it now. The obviously important parts of these quest lines are these solo scenarios, challenge type things, and that's what actually really matters in these quests. But they're not the parts that's taking the time. And I just think at this point in the expansion, we need to just make it not so long. And they have. I mean, they've already cut the valor from 6,000 to 3,000. That was a great move for the time. It was still kind of early, and it made it a little less long. But it's getting late in the expansion now, and maybe it's just time to okay, I don't know, maybe make it just 1,000 valor, so that part you can get in 1 week, right? Maybe cut the requirements for sigils and runestones and secrets in half, so it's just get 5 of those and 10 of those and 6 of those instead of 10, 10, 20, and 12. Cut it in half, and make it so that every boss basically drops it, something like that, or maybe for alts, add even an additional buff, maybe have a chance to get whatever, just something, because it just seems at this point it's kind of a long process if you running an alt and you want to get that legendary on him or her. on that tune. Just seems like a long process. At this point in the game, I was totally with it throughout the beginning. I did it on my druid right from the start. Every, the 6,000 Valor, all that stuff, and I had no problem with it. I thought it was really good. They have to gate it. It's an MMO. That's standard protocol, gate things so that not everybody gets everything right away, and that's fine. At this point in the expansion, I think it's just a bit much, and they should just find a way to really, really, cut that grind down a little bit. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So that's the kind of stuff I like to talk about. All these spell changes in alpha right now, they're constantly changing. They're not tuned, so it's until it goes live. I mean, even in beta, it's gonna take a long time for them to get all that tuning right and to really see how it feels. Right now, they're just working on the mechanics. They're trying to get everything to feel right, and hopefully they'll do a good job. Hopefully everything will be balanced. It's going to be, hopefully it'll be really nice, once everybody starts getting in the rating, people are at identical or close to identical gear levels. What I really want to see is, what I really want to see is, equal standing in DPS and whatever, healing, all that stuff between, people of equal gear level and equal skill. That's really what I want to see. I don't want to see like just warlocks at the top. Otherwise everybody kind of all those ranged DPS feel like they have to run that OP tune or something. Another thing that I like is the fact that hopefully they're going to do a decent job of it, and it's stuff like making the secondary stats maybe a little bit more even. Not totally even, of course. You're still going to have the stats that you want the most, but a little less difference, have everything at least worth something to your character, and close. Just, you can have that, let's say, for example, Prod Pally, for example, haste could still be your best, but if you get crit or you get dodge or you get parry or whatever, it's still going to be very good. It's just haste will just be the best. That's all. And that'll be your best thing. So I'd like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see. Another thing I heard about is that they've done is that they've smoothed out some of the lag issues, and I don't mean like the stuff that you have on your internet because your internet's slow. I'm just talking about the way that they're processing the moves and stuff. They used to sort of do it in batches, so every 400 milliseconds or something, everything that happened, they'd batch it all at once and then they'd send it all back, and so literally that's almost half a second, right? So if something happened in that half a second, so if you click heal, instant heal this guy, and then before that 400 milliseconds was up, the boss gave a critical frickin' hit and killed the guy, even though you hit that heal first, it might not have caught just because of that thing. But they're trying to do it so that like every time you hit a button, it immediately goes through. Everything should go a little quicker. And from what I've heard, it seems to be doing okay. So my only real concern, and this is actually something that I've talked about before, I've one thing that, again, I'm a casual player. I don't have the best computer in the world, and I don't know if it's my reflexes or whatever, but even with my gear level, let's say I'm my mage, I'm not quite at the DPS I feel that I should be. Compared to, I see other players, getting a bit more DPS than me, and it really bugs me. I know my stats are good, all that stuff, and it kind of, it's been kind of frustrating me a little bit. But now with this new thing, right? that, you know, things are going to be quicker and faster and all that stuff. I'm almost wondering if your computer's better now than my computer. Is that even going to give you a better advantage? Because my computer's probably going to be still just as slow and maybe not get all those things off on time or whatever. And by the way, some people might not believe the whole thing about, you know, a computer making a big difference. I actually have a guildie who sometimes plays on his desktop and sometimes plays on his laptop, and a desktop is a stronger computer, and he says that he actually does more. I can't remember how much he told me, but he said it was a significant amount. His DPS is significantly higher when he's on the better computer. So, you know, that's kind of, it's kind of sucky that way. You know, there's, you know, the only real way to get around this, you know, if you made cooldowns longer, you know, the global cooldowns longer, stuff like that, and then the game would be slower, and I don't think it would be as fun. So, it would, unfortunately, this is just something I guess we have to deal with, but it still kind of rubs me the wrong way. I just wish there was some way that, you know, if you can go in there and you have a certain gear level, like, obviously skill has to matter, you know, as I've mentioned in other videos, skill has to matter, but sometimes I think the disparaging, like the difference, like the big differences you could see between skilled people with good computers and unskilled people with not good computers, it's just so ridiculously big. I'd like to see it more matter, like your gear. I like the gear to matter a little bit more. You know, I like to shrink that difference a little bit, you know, but hey, again, I'm a casual player, and I have the maybe not so strong computers, maybe not the quickest reflexes, so what can I tell you? I'm biased. So, yeah, that's pretty much, you know, that's what I have to say about that. So there've been a few cool little things I've seen on MMO Champion. I'm gonna try to show them to you with this new software I have. I might go blank for a second. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, you can still see me. That's cool. Yeah. So I'm looking at. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. So we have here some new orc females. That looks nice. That looks pretty cool, man. Those are some really nice stuff. They look really good. I mean, I play Alliance, so, you know, I can't, you know, not be able to take advantage of that, but it's yeah, looks pretty good. What else? So there's some paladin. I think this is some paladin PvP gear, which is, you know, pretty cool. Some rogue. I think this is, yeah, this looks like rogue PvP, I guess. Looks pretty nice. Some tier hunter set. A couple of tier hunter sets. Some priest tier sets. Interesting little veil they got going there on their faces. But the shoulders are really cool. Shoulders are really, really nice. They got some nice glowy things on them. I like that. What's the warlock? Warlock tier 17, yeah. Lots of skulls. Very warlocky. Very nice. And the druid. The druid. This is an interesting one. This is like weird with the wings and stuff. That's kind of weird, eh? I've never seen that before, but I don't know. I guess druids with their whole nature thing and stuff. I guess they got influenced by the Claxi. I don't know. Pretty weird, but interesting nonetheless. So yeah, that was some kind of nice stuff. Some of the more recent stuff that we've seen. They've done a lot of work on garrisons. I've seen in some of the alpha videos too. one of the things I saw was like this monument you could stick in the middle of your garrison. They had some different things, so those were kind of neat. I like those. As honestly, like the videos I saw, like I didn't see anything that I didn't really expect. Like I didn't expect. Like everything that we've heard about and we've talked about in the past, all the news that we've heard about garrisons, they all seem to be sort of what they're doing in alpha. So I don't have too much news to talk about on the garrisons. Uh, the good news is that yeah, you pretty much get in there right away. As soon as you get over there onto Draenor, you pretty much start up your garrison. You get it set up right away, and then you go on to your big epic quest to do whatever it is in your town, in your beginning area to head off Garrosh's forces or whatever. So yeah, cool beans. Everything's looking good. The same guy, I mentioned earlier about the guy who asked me, to do some, character changes, like what's going on with all the different character changes and stuff. And so like I said, I wrote him back. I said, listen, I'd like to do that, blah 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 blah. It's just I don't think it would be, I wouldn't be worthy to be able to do something like that, especially for a Shadow Priest. So he wrote me back, says, yeah, I understand. That's fair. Maybe you could talk about, if you think when do you think the release of Warlords of Draenor is going to come out? So, if you would have asked me this last year, after BlizzCon or something, I would have probably told you that it would have been out already. Seriously. Right now, it's not looking real good. It looks like it's still going to take quite a while. I mean, they are in alpha, so beta hasn't started yet, and all they've done is do some garrison stuff, Frostfire Ridge, which is the beginning section for the Horde, Starter Zone, whatever you want to call it, and Starter Zone for the Alliance has just started this week. Shadow Moon Valley, man. So the way I see it is, I don't think now. Look, I'm no expert on this stuff. I don't know, but if you were to I don't think that they're gonna want to have BlizzCon right during the world first races. Like, it'd be kind of weird. So if they were, which means like if they wanted to avoid that, so like BlizzCon's like in November, right? So if it came out in October, there's still that risk of the world first races for the first tier. Maybe, I don't know. It depends how hard they are, or how fast they get through it. Or so they probably have to make it for September. And considering it's already almost July, I mean we're nearing the end of June here, so July, August, September, 2-3 months, and you're still in alpha. They haven't even started beta yet. Oof. So, man, I hate to say this, but they might bring it out right after BlizzCon. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. So, anywho, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm not sure. It's like I said at the beginning of the video. It's really difficult to think of interesting, things to talk about that I like talking about, that I feel make a difference. I know everybody wants to hear about their class changes and all that, and that's great. I kind of do too. I like to look at them. I like looking at all the different class changes, but I'm reading them. A lot of them I don't know what they mean. And even, like I said, even for my own class and spec, it's like, okay, they're making this change, but how's it going to affect me in the game? How's it going to feel when I actually play it? I don't know. And, you know, whatever it is, for me, like, whatever they do to our classes, for me, the important thing is that, okay, hopefully no one will be bored playing their class. Hopefully every class will have interesting and fun things to do. And to be honest with you, you know, boring isn't always the worst thing if it allows you to play your tune at your best. So let's say, like I mentioned before, that I don't have the best reflexes. Dexterity on the keyboard is tough sometimes with all the different spells and key bindings and all that stuff. I struggle. I struggle with it, right? So this could have also a pretty bad effect on my DPS, on my mage or whatever. Doing frost and, you know, target switching, it might not be as quick as it could be, and, you know, a lot of clicking because, you know, I have my main stuff on my fingers, but, you know, I click a lot of buttons too. The stuff that the cooldown stuff I'll click on, so might take an extra second or two, so I could be losing some DPS there. You know, I remember back in Cataclysm and Wrath, I was an arcane mage, and a lot of people made fun of the arcane mage because they were talking about this 2-button class, right? But I gotta say, it allowed me to be a competitive player because I didn't have all kinds of buttons to press. And you know, when I was with other people and comparing my DPS, I was always happy with it because I did good. Go into LFRs or whatever and see I mean, I know LFR isn't the best place to compare your DPS to, but still, you know, when it was relevant, you know, when people were actually still doing madness or whatever, you know, my DPS was up there, and it made me feel good. And, you know, I did the work to get my gear. You know, whatever I had to do, you know, in Valor, whatever, all that stuff, I did work for it. I mean, yes, you know, I didn't do the high raids to get my gear, but I worked for it in a different way. And I like to think that, and I was able to show that by, you know, even though it was a very simple rotation on the arcane mage, I liked it because I was able to perform well. And for me, if you're not the kind of person who likes that kind of play, then you don't have to play that way. You could play Frost or Fire, whatever. Because I think Arcane now they've added a couple of things with the bombs and whole thing, so it's not. I think Frost is the most fun right now, so that's what I play. And I mean, it's not like I do terrible DPS or anything, but I know it could be better. Whether it's, you know, the use of my key bindings or better computer or whatever. So, you know, that's you know, that's what I was saying. Like, okay, as long as, you know, you enjoy playing your character, if there's something for everybody and everybody's, you know, everything's balanced and all that stuff, that's what's going to make the game great. So yeah, I mean, what can I tell you? That's what we hope for in Warlords of Draenor. And like I said, you know, it's commenting on all these changes now is very difficult because you don't know how it's going to feel when you play it. And what's going to matter is when you play it, do you feel good when you play it? And until live comes out, really, when everybody's playing, that's when you're going to know the most. And then you're going to also, all the other mechanics in the game, all the quality of life stuff, you know, all those bags, places, that's going to be great, you know, all that stuff like that. That's going to be the real kicker. So we'll all get used to our new class and spec. And if we don't, maybe, you know, we'll change or do something else. I don't know, but hopefully they'll get it right, and hopefully everybody will have fun. So, as usual, everybody, have fun playing World of Warcraft, and have a good one.